Hello everyone, this is Nick Perry at Schaefer's Investment Research with your chart slideshow for Friday, December 7th. Today I am back with my weekly check of the broad market indices. In last week's chart slideshow, we were talking about the trading range. Basically, can be traced out in this pattern. And on the SPX, talking about we were at near-term resistance, but ultimately this upper boundary up here and the lower boundary down here were the important points to keep in mind. When we left on Friday, the market sort of had the wind at its back. Was pushing up in that near-term resistance, and we're talking about this upside target here. When we turn to this week's charts, we see that there was a little stutter step there, but the SPX did push through that resistance. On the comp, we've been talking about this near-term support. The comp had broken above that last week. Let me clear off the screen. You'll be able to see this a little bit better here. There was a little bit of a retest right back down to that, and now we are back at this short-term resistance that we had identified. So, overall, again, trading range, that's the environment that the chart is pointing towards right now. Next week, we've got the FOMC. The market's looking for at least a quarter-point cut. We'll see if the Fed plays ball with that. But ultimately, this upper zone here is what I'll be watching next week to see if we push up towards that. This short-term resistance would now be expected to serve as short-term support. I would say it's very short term. If you look at the action right here, when we had this decline here, let me clear off the screen. When we had the drop here, you pushed through that, rallied up and tested it. You look at it, you test it here, and it's short term before you get the breakout up above. We get the breakdown below it, the retest. So basically, the market tends to respect that in a short term sort of way. Keeping in mind the longer term pattern where the lower boundaries here and the upper boundaries here. So anyway, that's what I'll be keeping an eye on. Basically, you've got the SPX heading towards its old highs. Ditto on the Dow. Comps trading slightly different pattern, but these recent peaks up here, those are going to be the level to keep an eye on. Ultimately, these lows down here. And here's what we've got going on with the rut. It's coming off support that was from those lows right there. So this area right up here is going to be the upper boundary to watch. So anyway, that's what we'll be keeping an eye on. As always, stay tuned to the blog for further updates, and have a great weekend.